Welcome back. And as you know, we have two segments, always with people that are interesting to listen to, that have the heart of what they're doing and feel the heart of what they're doing and explain it to you. And our next visitor is certainly no stranger to a lot of people in the city of Long Beach, and that is Drew Gagner. And Drew is the president of the St. Mary Medical Center Foundation. And I always call it St. Mary's, sorry. But then I had to learn that it is St. Mary Hospital, and the St. Mary Foundation is a support group for the hospital and has been for many, many years. Sure. So, Drew, we're so glad to have you. You can give us a little background so I'm not stuttering and figuring out what to say next with it. So,
well, first of all, Madam Mayor, thank you for having me. Yeah. On behalf of the Sisters of Charity and all of your friends at St. Mary, hello. Nice to see you.
That's wonderful. Well, I've known the sisters for so many years, and some of them have gone and they're not part of us. But the sisters have always added some strength to what you get with the spiritual feeling when you are part of something that you need when you're ill. So I'm struggling to get that all out. So I got it out in the right way, I think. But
well, as you know, since 1923, the Sisters of Charity and St. Mary have been kind of a foundational rock here in our community, and St. Mary has been blessed for many, many years with both the Sisters of Charity, but certainly an outstanding category of physicians and nurse caregivers and technicians, and then hundreds and thousands of supporters in the community, both kind of broad and deep support. St. Mary's been lucky.
Well, it is in the center of things of Long Beach. St. Mary is where action is, because you're right in the middle of it.
Sure.
And the church is across the street. So there's this little area here has always been, had a sacred feeling just because of the location.
Sure.
So tell me what you do to make it better.
Sure. Well, as you say, the hospital is in the heart of downtown. We're getting over 60,000 visits in our emergency room alone, which was built for 45,000 visits, so we're stretched. Our job at the foundation is to work with a variety of civic leaders and community supporters to raise as much money as possible to bring support toward our programs, initiatives, and capital endeavors at the medical center. We're very, very fortunate because we have a great group of supporters in Greater Long Beach, and this past year we were fortunate to transfer over $5.5 million back to the medical center for all the programs and services that they need. And as you can imagine, in any not-for-profit organization, it's those contributions that kind of provide the margin of excellence, the difference between good and great.
Well, it has an outstanding reputation, and there are people that have been faithful followers for generations, families.
Sure.
Yeah, and there are buildings, I think, named after them, aren't they?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, like any organization that has been very fortunate to receive support, I mean, we certainly have recognized our donors, but as you well know, most people don't want the recognition. We think it's important to provide the recognition because it inspires other people to support the organization as well. And the litany and list of names of supporters is kind of a who's who of Long Beach, and we're grateful for that. And it's ongoing. I mean, there's so many different things that are happening now as the healthcare and our hospital transforms and make sure that we're able to handle anybody who turns to us for care, regardless of their ability to pay or their background, et cetera.
What are some of the additions and some of the things that have happened lately?
Sure. Well, lately it's kind of interesting. We are in the middle of planning to expand our emergency room from 23 beds to 38 beds. They just indicated, built for 45,000 people. We already have 60,000 that are coming in, so we need those additional beds. A component of that is going to be kind of a 6-bed unit focused on on seniors, on geriatric folks who, when they come to the emergency room, especially they're not feeling well, they could be a little bit confused based on any number of items. We want to kind of give them a special, warm environment that is inviting and makes them feel safe.
Rather than the waiting room.
And secure, rather than the waiting room. Getting them kind of through the triage aspect and kind of into the care area as soon as possible. That's a big program that we'll be doing in the next couple of years. That will actually be a campaign. And there's a whole litany of things that we're doing to grow our, what we call our community benefit programs, but our Low Vision Center program, our Families in Good Health. These are programs that are really into the outreach. They're above and beyond what happens inside the hospital. Exactly.
And the seniors.
Oh, for sure. You know, our Bazzini Wellness Center, which is our senior program, has all kinds of educational offerings, making sure that people have the activities of daily living so they can maintain their confidence to live in their home for as long as possible. As you know, that's a very important thing for seniors, to have that sense of independence, but know that there's the support. And I think St. Mary has always been that type of a support organization, that above and beyond health care, what can we do to benefit the community, fill the gaps?
Well, I think you're the only hospital where you can just kind of walk over.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, not really, but I mean, it's just in the center of
it
homes.
Is. It is. And I think, you know, what's interesting about Long Beach is, I think, honestly, several very positive, many positive things. But one is that we have our own Department of Health, which is outstanding, and our city does a great job of interacting with St. Mary. We also have an outstanding, I think so, a very collegial relationship with Long Beach Memorial and Community Hospital. The reality is that our community needs all of the healthcare organizations that we have, and St. Mary, particularly in the downtown segment, serves constituents and friends and people that really have no other place to go. So we're both a place, we hope, of both first choice, but also to some degree last resort. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but in the sense that when people really need something other than even health care sometimes, a meal, a Christmas.
Oh,
Sister Gerard provides Christmas for 125 families. And without any fanfare, as you know, the sisters never are seeking fanfare of any sort. But she raises money and gifts for 125 families, including Christmas dinner and things of that nature, which is way above and beyond certainly health care provision.
My goodness, I didn't know that. And it seems to me that the physical locations are changing. Or it used to be that everything was right on 10th Street. And now there are buildings so that are not the main entrance to the hospital.
Well,
you come in now from Atlantic.
Yes, the medical office building is off Atlantic, but there are actually several things that are being transformed. We'll be improving an access point off of 10th Street. We're working currently and closely with the city on improving the access between the convent and the original hospital. Because it's going to be quite beautiful to be able to have this original hospital looming on your right that was built. It's actually not the original, it was the one built after the 33 earthquake in 37. It's a beautiful building. We're going to have a new entryway into the medical center. And then we're also going to be putting in a 1 or 2 story building that's going to house what we're calling our Center for Integrated Care, a senior program which is going to bring all of the health care to the senior. So what would happen is, instead of when you go to your doctor and they say, all right, you need to go to your rheumatologist over there, you need to go to your endocrinologist over there, and all of this, we're going to have all the specialists come to the senior and kind of have the center, the patient be the center of the care.
And they're there and they come to them.
Exactly.
That's marvelous.
It's going to be a great program.
Being a senior, that's very helpful.
I did not know that you were a senior.
Yeah.
I did not know
yeah,
that.
sure. But you know, I've got some wonderful memories of St. Mary. You'll have to ask Sister Gerard, because we had the governor of, who is now the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, with us, and he used the auditorium at the hospital, and that's where he made his speech. And he came in and he got up in front, and the place was packed, and he was talking, and he told me he said afterwards, he says, well, Beverly didn't tell me that I would have these sisters here, he said, I was raised in a Catholic school my whole education, and I started to sweat when I saw, when I saw them. Because I can remember how they used to tell me how I spoke and what I had to do right. I mean, it was a wonderful thought because.
Leave it to the Catholic sisters to stop even a noted politician.
Oh yes,
in
and
his
he
tracks.
was sitting. He was, I think, Secretary of HUD.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, they were in the front rows, you know, and there were about 5 or 6 of them, and they were looking, and here's the Secretary of HUD here, and all of a sudden, you know, he says, well, I began to sweat, and you know. Because it reminded me of the days of when he was in
Sure.
school. Well, I've got other stories too. I shouldn't have started all of that because that's taken time. But what happens at St. Mary has for what, 70 years?
93 years.
Ooh.
93 years. It's been an interesting
Maybe the
ride.
foundation is 70 years.
It's foundation since 1970, so you're right
okay.
there. You're right
I got
there.
the 70 someplace.
No, you're right. You're right there. Sometimes it seems like 70 years, as they say, but no. The hospital has been in place and now going into their 10th decade
in this location.
In this location, and the foundation has been in place since 1970, really making a huge difference. And I think as the Affordable Care Act and as healthcare continues to transform, in some ways the healthcare is going to be outside the campus. There's going to be, as you see around town, various clinics that are outside and organizations, 4 walls. There's going to be a lot more of that. There's also going to be more focus, I think, again, on bringing health care to the individual where they are physically proximate. Not everybody can easily get to a St. Mary Medical Center or even a Long Beach Memorial. So to make sure that you're bringing health care to those communities where the people reside is also important. So there's a lot of change forthcoming.
Well, I was going to start talking about, or having you talk about, I know you have big fundraisers, but our time is up. So what are your 2 big fundraisers?
Our 2 biggest fundraisers are our annual gala, which is in November this year, November 14th. It's
Okay.
our 34th annual gala. It's a spectacular event over at the Hyatt Regency Long Beach.
And the second?
And the second is our annual Golf Classic.
That's
and
it.
it is a stellar sellout every year over at the Virginia Country Club. And
Very good.
we'd love to see anybody that watches this program join us then.
Okay, had to get that in. So how nice to have you, Drew. It was nice to hear about what you're doing, and I can tell you're in the right place.
Madam Mayor, thank you so very much.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching. Watch for our next program.